Hello everyone, and welcome back to this Next.js and Contentful tutorial series. In the previous video, we talked about incremental static regeneration. Basically, the idea that we will like our content like every change to our content should be reflected on the page, on the website, without the need to rebuild the entire site, right? So that's what incremental static regeneration is all about, and it's very easy to do in Next.js. You just add a revalidate parameter to all your route like this, and you specify the number of seconds after which you want to revalidate and recreate the pages if the content has changed. Now we still have an issue. Basically, what about the case, like the interval between which the pages are being regenerated and the user is potentially visiting a link, let's say like this. Okay, so let's say I visit a link like this. Well, he's going to see a 404 page, right? He's going to see a 404 page, and obviously if the page exists, you don't want to show a 404 page, right? You want to show maybe a loading spinner that the user can see while the page is eventually, like, the page is being generated behind the scenes, right? So while let's say Netlify or Vercel is building the pages like this, is going through the build process, and the user potentially visits a page that you know for sure exists, but is in the process of being recreated. You don't want to show a 404 page. You want to show, ideally, actually it should be a 404, not necessarily 500, but you get the idea, right? So you don't want to show an error like this. You want to show a message telling the user that this is the data being loaded, and that he should wait a little bit. So that's the concept of fallback pages in Next.js. Fallback pages. So the idea is instead of displaying an error message like this, you're going to show a loading spinner. So without further ado, let's do that right now. So I'm going to create the spinner. I already have this very simple Tailwind component. I'm going to add it to the UI folder here. I'm going to create loading spinner. I already have the code for this. It's just a very simple Tailwind component that I've already created. I'm going to copy paste the code here. It's very simple. You're going to see it in action soon. It takes a custom message, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use our spinner in various places where we need it, and namely we need it especially in the dynamic pages where we are using fallback false. Now we're going to say fallback true. Okay, this is for the jobs page, and once we say fallback true, it's very important that we now also, when we are in this page here, right? So when we are here, you need to make sure that when this is, because when you say fallback true, you need to make sure that, okay, while we are still fetching the data, what should we do? Because as I said, like when the build is happening and the user potentially visits the page, you won't have get static props is still running, right? Get static prop is potentially still running because this is where the revalidate is happening. So you want a mechanism in the page to handle that wait time. So let's say if job is not yet there, what do we want to do? Well, we want to return our spinner. Very simple. So loading spinner, you return the spinner, and that's it. We give a custom message. You see it takes a custom message here. We're gonna say loading job data. Okay, we're gonna say loading job data like this, and let's save this and see how it looks already on the front end. Let's visit that on localhost for now. Let's say, for example, I visit this page. Sorry, it's jobs page, jobs, and I say this page here. You see, it now says loading job data. Okay, so obviously this doesn't exist, but if if this condition ever becomes false, which it will be, as soon as getStaticProps returns the data, in the case where the data actually do exist, it will return real data. So this will eventually become false, and we won't display the spinner anymore. We will display the actual job, right? So let's do the same thing for the company page as well. So let's add true here as well. Oops, lowercase true. And let's handle the case where the company data haven't yet arrived, like this. And let's return the spinner once again. Loading spinner, okay, loading spinner. Close this like this. Custom message, loading company data. All right, very good. Okay, so now what I want to do, I'm going to deploy this, okay, and I'm going to create a job. It's nice that we have a 5 seconds interval window during which we can test this, okay? So I'm going to create a company, a new job, okay? And in between the time when the job is being, like the incremental static regeneration is creating the page for that job, between that interval window, that interval time, the spinner is going to be showing React is going to display the spinner. As soon as we get the job is going to be displayed, right? So let's do that now. First of all, we need obviously to push this this code to production. So let me add get commit add message, added fallback pages, okay, and then git push. Now Netlify is going to deploy this, okay, and while it's doing that, let's start creating another job. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate the Tailwind job here. Okay, let's duplicate this one. Very good, excellent. So I'm going to say front-end Tailwind CSS front-end expert Tailwind CSS specialist guru. It's a Tailwind CSS guru, okay. And remote, let's say yes. Feature job, yes. So we have a second feature job there, and let's say 70 or 80, okay. As far as the date goes, we can put today's date, okay. Let's put senior here, very good. Full-time UX and so on and so forth, very, very good. And let's not publish yet. I want the deployment to be done first, right? So I want the deployment to be completed first before it failed. What happened? Let's see what happened. We couldn't deploy let's see what happened. It's something that happened that's causing this to fail. What is it? Reading the site failed. What is that? This is strange. Anyway, let me retry this. I don't know why it failed. It should not fail. We haven't done anything special unless there's a bug in our code. Let's test this on localhost as well and see if there's any bug, which I don't think we have. I don't think we have any bug in our code. I think it should work. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if it gives that issue again. Then definitely there's a problem with our code. I don't think we have a code problem. We do. What's the problem? Next.js Contentful tutorial can resolve. Oh, can resolve. Yeah, I see. Yeah, we didn't commit the things. We didn't do the commit right. So we need to git add every file. Okay, we didn't add the loading spinner to the git history. Right now it's done. Let's push that again. Sorry. At least you see me debug live. Okay, so that's it. Let's refresh. This should trigger another build. Okay, very good. Now this should definitely work. Okay, this should definitely work, and I'm gonna show you the main point of this video. Basically what I want to do, as soon as the deployment is done, I'm going to publish this job. Actually, let me change the let me copy this link here. Okay, I'm going to publish this job as soon as the deployment is done. so that we have those 5 seconds interval of time during which I can show you what I want to show. So let's wait for this to be completed. Normally it should be done soon. It should not fail anymore. It should deploy successfully. Yeah, it stays. It's deploying successfully this time. Let's wait a bit more. Okay, and as soon as it's done, I'm going to publish this job, and I'm going to come here and show you something. So at the moment, obviously, if I visit this, it's not going to show anything, right? It's not going to show. It's going to show internal server error, right? It's not available. It's not able to find this, right? But we now want to show that spinner, that loading spinner, okay, while it's fetching. So it's almost done. It's now the processing stage. Very good. Now it's published. So now it should have the loading spinner. You see, has the loading spinner, but it's going to load indefinitely. Okay. But now as soon as I publish it and we wait for like 5 seconds, when incremental static regeneration is going to create that page, the spinner is going to disappear. Okay. So after 5 seconds, that spinner is going to disappear and display the job. And that's how you mix the power of fallback pages and the power of incremental static regeneration, basically. So in about a couple of seconds, the spinner will disappear and we will see the actual job. Okay, so it should be front-end expert Tailwind CSS guru. All right, so let's give a bit of time. Bear with me, should definitely work. Let's see already, like, let's visit already the home page to see if the job is already displayed there. Let's see that here. Oops, let's click here like this. Okay, it's not yet. So yeah, let's wait a bit more. Let's give a bit more time. It should definitely appear soon. Okay. I should have definitely decreased that ISR time to 3 or 2 seconds. But anyway. Okay, where are you? Come on. It's too long. Okay. Oh no, it's taking way too long. I don't know. I don't know if something is wrong. Did I do that right? Yeah, I think I did it correct. Everything is fine here. Loading spinner, index. No, we're not using that here. We're using it here. So, and we still have ISR on. So yeah, every 5 seconds. So let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we have it. Now it's done. Now it's there. If I refresh here, it should now also show that job properly. I think, yeah, I mean, ISR go through each pages individually, separately. So it's done. It's done with the home page. So I'm sure it's now working on the individual page as well. And also I think probably slower because I'm on the free plan of Netlify. So obviously they will prioritize their paying customers, right? Voila, and now it works, you see? So basically that's it. And I think to make things faster and more interesting, I should have definitely decreased the time to 1 second. I think if I did that, you wouldn't have had to wait for so long, but that's it. That's fallback pages and ISR together working in perfect harmony. Hope you learned something new here in this video. Very powerful stuff that we're doing. But one final thing, the final thing that I want us to look at is the fact that for pages that are not necessarily in our database, let's say if I visit this random page here, right, it's displaying a 404 page, but obviously this is not really cool. We would like to show something more interesting and give the ability to the user to go back to the home page. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. So stay tuned. I'll see you next. Bye.